Okay, so guys, this video is about title contenders, and I got a new laptop, so it's gonna be with the webcam, so it's gonna be like this now from now on. Really, um, I may, depending on how I do, I may do some camera ones, but now I can actually live stream, so we're gonna have some. I'm gonna have fun on fall Saturdays with that. Um, so I have a few contenders that I'm gonna go over really. Alabama is my main one. I think Alabama is the main contender. Anytime you gotta talk about who's gonna contend, you usually mention Alabama in that because Alabama has dominated the thing in the football world in the last 7 years. Really, one way to describe it is the 1920 Yankees. Though most people don't get that reference if you don't know baseball. So, yeah. The other one is Clemson, who's had a stretch of dominance. I mean, they've been doing pretty well the last few years. There's just usually like a one game thing that stops them. Past years, except minus last year, it's been Florida State. But this year obviously was in the title game where they lost the chance to the title. They had the Heisman contender. You're going to get through a lot of these. There's going to be lots of people who are going to be Heisman list on these teams. So, and I think that's one big thing. You have to have a star player like that that's in the Heisman discussion. Alabama, at this point, I would probably say Calvin Ridley would be their star player. Calvin Ridley and O.J. Howard would be their star players. The reason you're not hearing them in the Heisman is because they haven't had a lot. Well, Calvin Ridley's only a sophomore, and you don't know. And then I think he should be. O.J. Howard, he hasn't had a lot of production, but he's about to get it ramped up. Oklahoma, they've been there the last few years. They've been in the title discussion. They've been in the playoffs last year. Got beat by Clemson. They have Baker Mayfield at QB, so I think they're going to be able to do well. Yeah, I'm not feeling 100% right now, so I'm about to sneeze or something like that. But Florida State, they have Dalvin Cook, who I think will probably be one of the main offensive weapons this year. Just based on the fact of, I don't see really where their QB is. They lost their QBs, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that. Ohio State, they're in the top 5 for preseason polls, but I'm not putting them as a title contender. They just have so many questions on offense and defense that you can't really list them there. So, yes, they are in the top 5, but I'm not listing them as one. LSU, they have Leonard Fournette. The defense is solid, but they have hurdles they have to get over. They have to beat Bama. That's said and done. Because if they don't beat Alabama, they won't be able to get to the SEC title game most likely. Because I don't see Alabama losing 2 games this season. I actually could see that. But still, well, I could see 2 games if they lose to LSU. But I don't see 2 games outside if they don't lose to LSU. I don't see who they lose to them. Stanford, they have Christian McCaffrey. Stanford, they're in lower top 10, but I really think they should be higher up. I think they're going to get in the playoff if they can survive the first half of their season. Because they have USC. Wait, let me just make sure I'm saying this is the correct one. Because I've been looking at a lot of schedules lately. This is the correct one. Stanford's actually. So yeah, they start off the season. They have Kansas State, USC, UCLA, Washington State, and Notre Dame. All tough games there, excluding Notre Dame. And then on the back half, the hardest team is Oregon, but Oregon then again also has lots of questions. No, I'm not even considering them a contender. Michigan, I think if they can get by Ohio State, who has a lot of questions, Michigan State, who has some questions, which they could easily win the Big Ten East, I think. I think it's the East. Um, but they have Jim Harbaugh as their coach, and he's pretty much brought flair over there. And why isn't this working? Okay, I think then the East, they're just not cooperating. I have it on like a split screen. But Notre Dame, I can say, but they have to go undefeated. There has to be a 2-loss champion. Stanford and USC, or USC, have to win the Big Pac-12, preferably both in the title game. Texas has to win the Big 12, in my opinion, for that to happen. And who else? I think I said one more team needed to win. Michigan State needs to win the Big Ten or be in contention for it. And they need to have Navy do well. They need to have Navy again making a good run on the season. And one of the ACC teams they play needs to be in the ACC title game. Duke and Miami in there, so it's highly possible that could happen. Because when I get to actual title conference title game contenders, I'm gonna touch on them. Each of them probably later. Oh, where's my mouse not cooperating? But Tennessee is the last one I got, and Tennessee I think is a dark horse. That's the correct term if I'm correct. But they've been building up slowly. Last year they were 10-3, something like that. 11-3 if I'm correct. They were one win away from the SEC title game last year. 2 wins away, because obviously who knows if they were gonna win against that. But I think they could actually win the SEC East. They're the heavy predicted favorites too. So if they get by Florida and Georgia, they win the SEC East, in my opinion. Thing is, I feel like in this case they're gonna have to beat Alabama twice, most likely. And if you beat Alabama twice, I feel like and then you run the table, beating Alabama twice. I don't see how that also the SEC champion ran the undefeated SEC champion that beat Alabama twice. I don't see where they're going to be left out. So, or even a 1-loss SEC champion that beat Alabama twice. And I'm saying if you look at a 2-loss SEC champion that beat Alabama twice, they could easily get in to the title game, to a playoff. They win the SEC with 2 losses and beat Alabama twice. I could see that. And Houston. All right, yeah, I said one more. That was the last one, but I got one more. Everything has to fall perfectly. There has to be multiple 2-loss champions. So really, you have to have like a Stanford with 2 losses. And Oklahoma has to win the Big 12. Stanford has to lose. Oklahoma has to win, be a 2-loss Big 12 champion. They have to win their conference, obviously. Louisville needs to really go really well, and then there needs to probably be another 2-loss champion just for them to be in consideration. So, like, a 2-loss Louisville ACC champion. So, in other words, Houston, a lot of stuff has to fall their way. Most likely won't happen because I don't see how Louisville can win the conference ACC. But, I don't know. And also, my prediction, playoff, Alabama, Clemson, Stanford, and Michigan, seeding in that order, I think. So Alabama versus Michigan. We're gonna have a great few day lead up, great month Twitter battle between Harbaugh and Kiffin. It's gonna be interesting to watch. I think Alabama's gonna beat Michigan. And then also on the Clemson Stanford side, it's gonna be it's gonna be the battle of the Heisman contenders. I.e. the two of the Heisman finalists. Either side there. I think Stanford will get this one because based on the fact of I think Christian McCaffrey can help the team more than Watson will be able to, and I think Stanford's just a better overall team. Then again, I'll probably determine later after the season that, and then I think Alabama versus Stanford be good, and I think McCaffrey will gain some ground on Alabama, but not a lot, and I think Alabama will win again because McCaffrey, he can do a lot, but I think if Alabama shuts him down rushing, everything else, he won't be as effective then, and I think Alabama can win then that way.